The night the moon turned against me, I had just finished a late shift at the diner. Exhausted, I decided to take the shortcut through the park, a path I knew well. As I stepped under the open sky, the moon hung full and bright, but something was off. Instead of bathing the world in its serene glow, it seemed to cast a dark, moving shadow that trailed my every step. I shrugged it off as fatigue, but the shadow felt sentient, as if it had a purpose, a hunger. Halfway through the park, the air turned cold, and the shadow grew bolder. It danced and twisted, creeping closer like a predator. I quickened my pace, heart pounding, the sound of my footsteps echoing louder in my ears. The shadow mirrored my panic, stretching longer, clawing at the edges of my vision. Memories of my grandmother's stories about moon spirits whispered in my mind. She always said there were things that couldn't be explained, things that followed you when the moon was full. I never believed her until now. Desperation kicked in, and I broke into a sprint, the shadow lunging after me, devouring the ground between us. I stumbled, nearly falling, as a chilling realization hit me. The park gate was still far, and the shadow seemed to be hurting me, steering me away from safety. My phone was dead, no hope of calling for help. I could feel its icy breath on my neck, its presence a dark promise of what awaited if it caught me. Then, in a moment of clarity, I remembered a small silver locket my grandmother gave me, a talisman she claimed could ward off evil. I clutched the locket, whispering a prayer I barely remembered, and turned to face the shadow. For a heartbeat, everything stood still. The shadow recoiled, a hiss echoing through the trees, and then it vanished, leaving nothing but the moon's gentle light. I collapsed to the ground, breathless and shaking, the locket warm in my hand. As I made my way home, I knew I could never look at the moon the same way again. I had survived the night, but I couldn't shake the feeling that the shadow was still out there, waiting for another chance.